Good morning. We'll get started in just a second. All right, this morning class, we are going to cover listing presentations. Haven't done that in a while, so wanted to go ahead and cover that. We do have the listing presentation PDF in Facebook on our under our Facebook files, and we also have the pre-qualification script, which we'll be talking about as well in our. Either of these documents you guys can go find later and thumb through and utilize in your so let me share the keynote here. All right, can everybody see that? All right, I think last time I tried to do this, I had to set up a whole link for it. So we'll just go through the slides. Remember how to present a keynote on here. As you have questions, go ahead and just post those in the chat, and we will answer them as we go. So first off, it's about communication. The good listing agents, the ones who stay listing agents, the ones who have an actual inventory of listings, do a good job at communicating with our clients. Over communicate, because that's usually where everything falls out. If you ask somebody, why they don't think their house sold, or they're already blaming their agent. Did a really good job of communicating. Either number one, the home would have sold because they would have got that price drop. The seller would have understood the market. They would have understood what their house truly was worth. They wouldn't have felt like the agent was just putting a sign in the yard. Right off the bat, their biggest problem is going to be with the agent's communication. They didn't know enough. They didn't get their feedback. All of those things are going to come up when the second agent shows up to relist their house because the first one expired or canceled. So the biggest thing is when we communicate, just tell them when you're going to call, when you're going to drop by, the duration of the appointment. So in your pre-qual interview, you might tell them, I'm going to send over a pre-qual or a pre-list packet tomorrow. My runner's going to drop it off. Please take a chance to look at that. Then on Thursday when we meet, the appointment will probably take about 30 minutes, and we'll get going after that. Establish that and make sure you hit those deadlines. Deliver. Set up that constant communication expectations and deliver as well. So when you tell them you're going to call every Thursday or every Friday at a certain time to deliver feedback, or discuss the market, the neighborhood, the listings, what's going on, what's coming off the market, what's going on in the market, stuff like that. Set up that constant communication right off the bat, and then deliver on it. Good or bad news, you have to. You have to. You know, we expect the same thing out of our vendors. Good or bad, we want to know. Don't just not take my call if you have bad news for me. If the home's not going to close on time, tell me so I can get it to my agents sooner than later. Don't just put me off until you feel like you can take that call. Okay, so make sure you communicate. So we pre-qualify the, know they want to sell, they're interested in selling. Why would we pre-qualify them? We use, you know, the questions and answers in our pre-qualification script. Okay, we take all the answers from all of our questions during this pre-qualification phone call and build our custom presentation for that client. We build our CMA according to some of the answers. We get to find out their motivation. So as soon as we find out their motivation, we can customize the CMA for them. Okay? Use it to save your commission. $29.95 flat fee, or sees the Redfin. I just saw that. I don't watch TV much, but I just happened to see the Redfin commercial. 1.5% listing commission. You know, why not use those people? Why won't you do it for 5%? Because Redfin's going to do it for 1.5%, or I can just pay $3,000 to the people with the sign. Get these objections during your pre-qualification call. Okay, so when that objection comes up, and before you try and get them off the call, you know, you say, "Oh, my commission varies. It's not a set commission, but we'll discuss that when we get to the appointment." Okay, keep them off of that. Redivert them, because you want a chance to put together your CMA and your presentation according to their motivation. And when you deliver on this presentation and let them realize what you're going to do is get that home sold for how much they need, the commission thing is just, you know, it's a non-factor. Okay, and we use it to prove our price and be prepared for the objections. And I'll tell you how here in a little bit. But let's talk about the pre-qualification script. Some of these questions on the pre-qual script. Okay, I use the Mike Ferry pre-qual script. I don't like Mike Ferry. Probably not a guy I really want to hang out with. Probably not a guy that I want to go on a listing appointment with. But he's got a great presentation. He's got a great script. It's just our personalities are completely different. I just can't do it the way he does it. So, but I like his script. Number one, if what I say makes sense, comfortable and confident that I can sell your home. Are you planning to list your home with me when I come out on blah, blah, blah? Okay. And if they say, well, you know, this is like the best question you can ask. Because if they waffle on it saying, well, we're not sure if we're going to sell or not. Okay. You know, going into it that, you know, you don't have a serious buyer. Okay. Number one. Are you planning to interview more than one agent for the job of selling your home? Now, if they say yes, okay, that kind of redoes question one's like, well, they're not planning on listing with you right away because they're interviewing other agents. So now they are a serious contender to sell their home because they're thinking about other agents. And so those two questions right there will tell you, because if they say, well, we're not sure, depends on the time, depends on the pricing, what we can get. And then if they say, no, we're not interviewing other agents, there's a good chance that these sellers are not ready to sell that house. Okay, so tell me again where you're moving. Where are you moving? Well, we haven't decided yet. You're not dealing with serious sellers, because if they say, well, we're moving to Orlando, you know, oh, really? What takes you to Orlando? You have family? No, job. We have to transfer. My husband's starting his job on, you know, August 8th. Oh, okay. So you need to have that house sold and moved out there. Do you guys want to get out there before, you know, early, or what's the deal? You're going to get that's where the motivation comes in. Okay. Question 4, how soon do you have to be there? That ties in. Okay. Question 5 says, when I see you, how much do you want to list your home for? Okay. This is going to give you their dream. All right. What they feel their home is worth. Professional real estate, I study homes and prices every day. Therefore, I assume you'll list with me at a price that will cause your home to sell, correct? All right. So they're going to say, yeah, absolutely. You know, so what price won't you go below? So we get their dream price, and then we get their second dream price. They're both dreams. Where they say they won't go below sometimes is still too high. All right, but here comes number 6. How much do you owe on the property? Here's reality. All right, reality is, you know, how much they owe. Okay, now when you do your work and you find out how much they owe, you're going to make sure to bring that net sheet with you on the listing appointment that shows how much you're going to list, how much it's going to sell for, and what they owe, and you're going to get them a black and white number, how much they're going to deposit on the day that you're telling them it's going to sell for, because it's not, because you know their motivation and they have to go. The rest of these questions, have you thought about selling it yourself? That's real right now in this market. There's a lot of FSBOs. Okay, they might have already tried. Question number 8, will you help finance the home for buyers? That one, you can ask it or not. That time is pretty much gone away, unless you can find someone who has cash and they're looking to downsize into a home and may want to do a few years and make a little extra money. But most people need the cash out of their house. Number 9, very important. Would you please describe your home for me? Okay. This gets them to tell you everything they love about your home. All right. Everything they've put into it, why they feel their home should sell for this, and they won't go below that. Help you set up your, that's going to give you all the objections you need to write on these planos for your presentation. So when you go through these other comparables and show, well, they had hardwood floors too, or they had new carpet too, this and that. So, and then number 11, do you have any questions before I arrive? Here comes your, what's your commission? What's your commission question? Say, well, as a professional courtesy to all of my fellow real estate agents who work very hard, I offer 3% to them if they're to bring a buyer. And then the rest of it is, you know, there's no set amount, and I'd like to discuss that on such and such date when we come out. Is that okay? And then they'll say, yeah, because you gave them a figure of 3%, you know, and you basically told them that you're a professional and you like taking care of the people in your industry. So if you want to give them anything, give them that. Don't give them your totals. All right. So, you know, our meeting should only take about 5 to 25 minutes. Is that okay? Great. I'll be seeing you on such and such time. So again, he told them how long it's going to take. If you do enough of these and you do the same presentation over and over, you're going to know exactly how long it takes. You're going to know the objections. You know how to handle them. You'll have everything in place. It shouldn't take more than 25 minutes to get a signature on there, on that contract. After you get the signature on the contract, then you can spend another hour and a half shooting the bull, having fun, walking around, talking about old times and who they know and you know and all of that if they want. But the goal is to spend the first 25 minutes presenting your house, getting them to sign it, and then moving on. So use that script when you're pre-qualifying. If you're not pre-qualifying your sellers, that's why you're going to stress yourself out. Okay. The pre-qualifying script, I already put that in. So the pre-list packet, I mentioned that pre-listing packet. Pop that off. You're going to say, okay, appointment's going to take 5 to 25 minutes. Is that okay? Great. Joe is going to drop, Joe, my runner, is going to drop by a pre-listing packet with a bunch of information. Can you take some time to review that before appointment on Thursday? Okay, so the pre-list packet. This is going to have your resume with your referrals, your all of your Zillow reviews, anything like that that you want to put together in your resume. A CMA with a price range. You can put the price on there. Mike Ferry puts the price on there. Okay, I don't know. I like putting a price range that way, because if they see a price, they're not going to ask questions. They're not going to let you prove the price through the CMAs. They're just going to call you and say, oh, we had an appointment come up, or family emergency, I'm not going to be there at 2. Can we reschedule? I'll call you back to reschedule. Hear from them again. I like the price range. Gives them a higher end price, gives them a low end price, so it kind of gets them thinking. All right, room by room review. Put that in there so that they can look at that. Probably won't, but if they do, they might even have some things done before you even show up for the listing appointment. They might say, look what we did to the count appointment, when they can say, we took all the stuff off the counter like this said, and we took some pictures down. They're so ready to sell that house, they want it sold this weekend. That's going to be a great appointment. All right, seller property disclosure, get that in their hands. They're not going to fill that out right away because they see all these check boxes and all this information. They're overwhelmed. They'll put that aside. Marketing plan and plan of action. So they see what you're going to do for your marketing and what the plan of action, what they can expect out of you. Put those things in there. That's all you want to put in there. Send it over, because on the day of the listing appointment, you don't want to be talking about your resume and referrals and how great your team is and what they do and why they should use you. You're going to talk about how they're going to sell their house for the most money and fast. So that's the pre-listing packet. The listing appointment, you're going to have a detailed CMA. You're going to bring a net sheet. You're going to bring a copy of your marketing plan and a copy of the plan of action, so you have your own. Feature sheet. All this stuff is on the counter in our break room, so you can grab all this stuff. The favorite feature sheet. This is something that they're going to fill out after they sign the contract, and give it to you so that you can use this to make sure you don't miss the solar system that they love that they put in, or the updated AC unit that they just put in and spent way too much on. High-tech $3,000 hot water heater that doesn't matter, but these things are things you can use to put your description together to sell the house. And you might miss something again. Get the contract, have the contract filled out with the price. Okay. I like having the price filled out because, you know, if you're going in there with a blank price line, you're offering them the opportunity to negotiate your listing price. All right. Your whole CMA is built around how much they're going to get and their motivation to sell. Okay. If you go into this thing knowing that they don't have much motivation, okay, then maybe leave it blank. But at least you know what you're getting into. They're not motivated to sell. But if they're motivated, you come with a listing price on there, because they're hiring you to sell this house in 2 weeks so that they can close by the end of July, so they can be in Orlando on the 8th. That price on that contract, that shows that you're the professional and you're sure about this. All right. So also what I like to bring on a listing appointment is planos used to do to make my detailed CMA. And on those planos, I'm going to take what they love about their house from our conversation that we had on the phone, and I'm going to find these other features in these homes that were priced at different prices. I'm going to make marks on some homes that sold for less than what they want and say this is why it sold less, because they don't have the paint or the updated kitchen like you, or their backyard is not landscaped as well, or they don't have a built-in barbecue. Or I'm going to show them this one that sold for just below the list price of what we want to list and say, look, they have a nice built-in barbecue. You know, they have you know, great landscaping, but the reason that we're going to go in at $10,000 higher is because they went off the market pretty quick and there's nothing competing with us right now. So I think we can get that. These are the things you need to have. Have all your planos marked up with all the notes, all the objections that are coming, so you can hit them. The best presentation is and go through this presentation and answer all their objections without them ever voicing one, when they had a whole list of them sitting in front of them to ask questions. And when you sit down and say, okay, what kind of questions do you have for me at the end of your presentation, they look down at their list and they look at you and say, I think you covered it. That was a perfect presentation, and the chances of them signing the contract at the 6% commission or more are perfect. Should be a done deal. All right, so the next, detailed CMA. They gave you the time frame, the price point they want to be at. So, you know, that's their motivation. They told you how much they want, their desire. They told you how much they owe, the reality. Direct them to the comps that fit their motivation. Print out the ones that expired. Print out the ones that sold fast. Print out the ones that, you know, are on the market, have been on the market for 90 days. Use these to show them and prove to them why they need to list at the price on your listing contract in order to sell it this weekend. Okay. One of the things I like to do is when I find a home that had been on the market listed $20,000 or $30,000 higher than that and finally sold 90 days later, and I show them that they made a price adjustment a week before that actually went under contract. Notes that I put on there is like, this home sat on the market for 90 days and they dropped it $15,000, went under contract within a week, $5,000 over what we're looking to list for. These are the type of things you're going to write on your planos so you can be ready for it. Show them the ones that sat on the market forever and expired because they're overpriced. Keep their motivation in front of you. All right, marketing plan. So play to your strengths on the marketing plan. Be creative, but don't put anything on there that you hate to do or won't do. All right. Broker open can be a good idea if it's applicable, if it's a special listing that help from other agents coming in to hopefully find an agent with a buyer looking for a specific property, bigger, more expensive property, stuff like that. The broker opens, it's gonna be easier to get vendor support on broker opens there and meet with all these agents who come through. All right, large scale open house is a must. Have your open house the weekend that you list it on Thursday, open house on Saturday. Get plenty of signs out. Professional photography, that's part of the team. Listing links and websites, you get that. Color flyers from our vendors. You know, reverse market to team agents and database. You have a database of 7,000 buyers. We have more than that. Tell them you're going to reverse market to your team and their database of buyers, qualified buyers. Tell them you can boost it on Facebook. You know, whether you pay to boost it or not, you're going to post it all over Facebook. Plan of action. This is your accountability sheet. They're going to hold you accountable for the plan of action. So this is what they're going to have this when you leave. So if you leave with an unsigned contract, you tell them it says plan and plan of action. Keep that in front of you. And if an agent doesn't sit down with a plan of action written out for you to hold them accountable, they're probably not the right agent to sell your house. So keep that in mind, accountable to this minimum, because this is the minimum I'm going to do for you. So first thing we're going to do when you get to the plan of action part in your presentation, this thing is done. Basically, you go through this thing and say, first, we're going to sign the contract. As soon as we get the signed contract, I'm going to then hand them over this feature sheet, say I'm going to have you fill this out so that I know everything that means a lot to you about the neighborhood, your landscape, your yard, your home, everything you've done to it that you're proud of. I want to know everything that you love about your house and your neighborhood. Okay? Gets them to buy into it. Okay, and then you're going to give me that, hopefully give me that here by the end of the day. And as soon as we're done with that, we're going to get up and take a room by room review. We're going to go through the house and kind of look at some things that we might want to do, improve, upgrade, clean, paint, get rid of to make your home show ready on the day that it hits the market. All right. Now, having that room by room review document takes the part where you're picking on them away in your document. This is what you do for everybody. So you're not picking on their house. So they have that. All right. And then I'm going to submit this contract to my transaction manager, my professional transaction manager, who's going to make sure initials are in place and compliance with the Arizona Department of Revenue, so everything looks good. Monday, I'm going to promote the listing at our sales meeting. Sales meeting could be on Facebook, our team Facebook page, our brokerage Facebook page. We could do those, but you're going to promote it. Then on Tuesday, the sign company will be here to install and take pictures. We're going to offer previews to agents that I know that have clients on Thursday. It's going to go live Thursday evening on the MLS. We'll have a large-scale open house on Saturday, and we're going to present all offers to you on Monday. I always put this in the MLS. Put all offers. When I launch a listing live, I put offers to presented to seller on Monday. Okay, so that person that comes in Thursday night with an offer, expecting to get this thing bought, wrapped up, under contract before the weekend, knows that we are not presenting offers till Monday. So don't even put the response time or Saturday morning. It's in my seller's best interest to field all offers and be able to do that open house leads too. Okay? Get all offers you can for your seller, get the leads you can for you, get the, get it out there. So make sure you put that in there. And I'm going to call all agents and clients daily to find a buyer, and I'm going to check in with you. This is your setup communication date every Friday. I'm going to say, what day and time is the best that when I call you, you'll answer so we can have a conversation. I don't want to leave you a message. I want to give you the facts. I want to talk to you. Which day is best for you to do that, or time? Just give me that. And when they say that, ink it, write it down, don't miss it. That's going to make the difference of you getting referrals from this person and getting that price reduction when you need it. All right, and it should, okay, on Monday, if you didn't get an offer, they're going to be contacting you saying, I want feedback, or even Saturday, I want feedback, give me feedback. Okay, if you set a constant date on Tuesday or Wednesday and they text you or say, it's like, I'm working on it, I'm fielding it, we will talk about all the feedback on Tuesdays. When I call you, I'll have all that in front of me if we don't have a contract before then. Okay? Do yourself a favor. All right? Remember, pre-qualify the script so you know how motivated, if any motivation is there going into it. It'll help you work that presentation in your favor. If they're not motivated, you can do some things with your presentation to see if you can spark motivation or get some urgency for them. Interest rates, the election, what's going to happen? Do you want to sit on this another year, and watch the interest rates climb and your sales price go down? Okay, we got to find out if there's motivation there, and if there is, we want to know. Okay, be confident since you did spend time in preparing. Remember, you're the professional. You got all the facts. You've done this before. They're all going to want to tell you what they see on Zillow or what they've heard from the news. You're the professional. Practice this presentation. Pull up around the corner 10 minutes early. Go through your notes. Make sure nothing's missing. If you heard anything during the day that might help, throw it in there. And then be willing to say no. If they're not motivated, if they're not going to list it at a price that you can sell it at, walk away. Would you rather have 5 listings that will sell in your inventory under contract, or would you have 8 or 10 of them, with 5 of them that'll never sell, and you'll have to have that Tuesday conversation every week with the seller telling them why nobody showed up or why the feedback is terrible? Be willing to say no if they're not willing to work with you. You're allowed. All right. That's all I got for today. Are there any questions? I'll give you a second for questions. I know there's like a 60 minute, 60-second lag in this. It's crazy. All right. Well, we'll end this session. Let me know. Email me, text me. Check it out on Facebook. If you have any other questions. So have a great day, and we will talk to you again later.